The first thing that came to mind when I read this C.S. Lewis quote was that there's no way you can look outside and think there's not a creator. The way the bees move the pollen and water cycles through the atmosphere, there's no way that it was all there by chance. And because it was created, that means it has to have a purpose. You don't just create things that have no meaning or no purpose. In Matthew 6:26, it talks about how birds don't prepare for anything, and yet God provides for them. So why would he not do the same for us? I think this is really profound because people rarely ever talk about the greatness and how God has designed this world and talk about the people in it. It's about the plants and the animals and how the flowers bloom and animals run in the wild. And that's all great and very important, but it's so much harder to see that plan and purpose and intent in the people around you. I think one example of this is babies. Everyone looks at babies and talks about the miracle of life that they are and how beautiful it is that God knit them together in the womb, which I agree with. But it's hard for us to look at grown-ups and other people around our age and say, wow, God must have a plan and a purpose for you, especially when you don't get along with them very well. One good example of this is atheists. Atheists are fairly opposite of Christians in most of their beliefs. And so it's easy to think, yeah, well, they don't really have a purpose here. They're here to wreak havoc. But I recently read a story that talked about how the point of atheists is to show us true compassion. They don't do things to help other people because they think that their God wants it or they need to do it to be a better person because they don't believe in a God. They know that people need help and they're the ones that can help them. So when God has a purpose, even for people that we look so far down on, that means he has to have a purpose for everything else. Seeing things in the light of Christ and value really plays into everything, even your education. It's easy to see things as unimportant and boring and not worth your time when you realize everything is created for a reason and it's important. It needs to be respected. It becomes so much easier to learn. You get more excited and it's more interesting to see how things knit together and work together, from history to art to science to religion, how all of it plays a role and plays together in this great world he's created us. Good leaders are people who see the importance in other people. They try to lift them up and make them better than those people thought they could be, better than even the leader thought that they could become. And that comes from a realization that not everything is based on what they can do for you. It's based on seeing them in love and that they have a purpose and a role. And it's very hard to do that if you don't see them. Never be a good leader if you don't see that importance in people. So this is something that everyone needs. Seeing people in the light of Christ applies in every facet of our lives. And it's a great reminder that things are bigger than just yourself. Education and leadership are both things that we should realize have to do with our Christian worldview. Thank you.